Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do another video of the Hut Wishlist series where I go through all of your questions, comments, feedback about what you would like to see in the next iteration of NHL. I've loved doing these videos. It gets a conversation started about, things that we could change in the future. Now, I get a lot of comments about how none of this is going to impact the game. I promise you there has been things that game changers have gotten, whether it be Twitch chats, stuff on Reddit, YouTube comments that have directly impacted the future of the game. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be a content, it could be a card released, lots of different things. But again, the goal of these videos was to get your guys' opinion in kind of one spot, and I can tell you that some of the devs at NHL or EA NHL are watching. So I just want to get that out to you guys. I also want to talk a little bit about the future and NHL 22 in terms of just content in general, as NHL 22 is probably going to be the biggest year of my professional career in terms of content creation. This is my full-time job. And I want to hear, guys, as well, when you're giving feedback about what you want to see in NHL 22, let me know what you'd like to see in NHL 22 in terms of content from me. Do you want to see more player review videos? Do you want to see more franchise mode, more tips, things like that? Things you liked, things you didn't like, let me know. And again, as always, come check me out on Twitch. I'm on a streak of 316 straight days of going live. I go live at noon Eastern time, twitch.tv/nosleeps12. All right, let's get into the comments. That's enough out of me. All right, so we're going to start down here with Hold This L. I couldn't be less excited for NHL 22. I have a bad feeling about this game. Well, that's not good. And there's a spider on my microphone. Okay. Well, okay, well, sick. Good start. Bang. All right. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to lie, in terms of just overall excitement. I mean, obviously, this is my job, so I am always going to be excited when the game comes out and it's new and fresh. The 4 separate consoles has made me more concerned about a new video game in terms of NHL than I've ever been. I think at launch it'll be fine, but it's the December and like February where, man, I don't know. I'm nervous about that. But hey, we don't know the full scope of things, and we'll find that out soon. Also, Kazni, I'm excited but nervous. What's up, buddy? Reasonable Rage says Draisaitl was robbed of cover when he won the Hart. I'll start with that. I would also like more Be a Pro features. In Hut mainly, we need more free packs. Draisaitl robbed the cover. Okay, I could see that. Obviously, he's definitely overshadowed by McDavid. But yeah, I mean, I think that he would be a fine selection for the cover. I think this year there's a couple good options: McKinnon, Draisaitl. But we'll have to wait and see. In terms of Be a Pro features, I mean, did you like the overhaul they did? I mean, obviously things weren't completely flushed out, but it was a drastic change, and I really enjoyed Be a Pro. I'm not gonna lie. Once they flushed everything out or made it a little bit better. In Hut, we need more free packs. We need more free cards. We need more guaranteed cards, my man. Alex Brzezowski, please never drink in vid again, or just not so damn close to your mic. I apologize. I get that all the time. I make these videos while drinking my coffee. I promise to not do it again. All right. So Gerald Richards says, what I think we should do for Hut. There should be online and offline rewards for Hut Rush, because Rush was fun for a little bit, but then once people realize you can get the rewards by playing against CPU, it went against the point. Okay, let's do this. I'll do this time by time. I get a lot of this, like, Rush doesn't have good rewards. Guys, you need to understand, when they put new modes into the game, they're not always meant for everyone. So the grinders, you're watching this video, you're amped for 22, you're real early, you've been following my channel. Obviously, you're the more hardcore player base, okay? Here's the thing. Hut Rush is designed to give you a mode in Hockey Ultimate Team that does not take 30 minutes to play a game, does not have to sweat your sack off in Rivals or Hut Champs, and it's for people that, want to play offline a little bit maybe, and don't want to spend and do it via squad battles, okay? Hut Rush was never designed for the hardcore player, and I remember saying that, hey, the rewards aren't good enough. When I saw this in the alpha, when the Game Changer program, when they showed us Hut Rush being added, one of the first things is that, hey, the rewards need to be good. And as I started to play the game a little bit and understand what it was that was going in, you have to take a step back and understand that the general player base is not, the grinders. The general player base is the guys that work 9 to 5, come home and just want to play a game or two. Hut Rush was meant for them. Now, it did offer some rewards, so it wasn't completely useless. Can you improve the rewards? Maybe. I think it should be a little bit different. Like I said, a guaranteed player. It doesn't have to be overpowered, but maybe something like that. I think that moments lives should be make a comeback, and there are moments for every team. 10, for example. If you complete them, you get an 82 to every untradeable player that's only available by doing the moments live. The card will go up overall, and it's still a usable card. Love this idea. Moments has been something I've been asking for and saying that needs to be back in the game since I became a game changer in NHL 18. The demand to code and make those, it appears just isn't there. I would love it if EA pumped more money into NHL. But yeah, like if they were to do that, so like right there, that's 320 dedicated moments they would have to code and make. Now, here's the thing. I would love it if you had to do one player like I always. Let's use a different one for example. Tomas Hertl's 4-goal game in his 5th game as a player. Okay, you've got to score 4 goals against the CPU against the New York Rangers. Rip Marty Baron ended his career. And you have to be player locked as Tomas Hertl. Here's the thing. I mean, Be a Pro is already in. It's already in the game. So you're really just taking that section. You're player locking Tomas Hertl and just doing. I'll never understand. I'm not a developer, and it's way easier to just say to do things like that. But in terms of the 82 to 80 overall and tradable that goes up every month, dude, I love it, man. Anything that you can do to get free cards, man. Anything and upgradable. I feel that alumni cards are only usable for 2 weeks because they are really low overalls and have poor stats. I feel like they are a waste of a card and only good for making collectibles. So, again, talking with the developers, I say the same thing. We're not going to be able to use a 79 overall Douglas Murray with 75 skating. They're just not. Those cards are meant for the people that play Huts offline and just want to use their favorite players. That's it. That's the unfortunate reality. They just want to be able to, we get so hyper focused on usable good cards, but if every card was like that, it would flood the game. I agree. Like the alumni, I can't stand when they release a card that you can't use. Trust me, all the game changers do. That is why they don't, and I hope they go to another method. I don't know how, but I can agree with you here. I think EA did a good job with team building sets because it gave gold players actual value, but I felt like they messed up only players from certain teams that have high value, like Vegas. I think that EA should make the cards 85 everything, which would make every team's cards usable. I know it's unrealistic, every player, but it adds diversity to the game by having all players and all different cards. I like that. The only issue that I see is that you would have I don't know, I guess because then they're all usable. When I use a card, I want it to be. You make a very good point. Here. I don't know how to explain my argument here. I don't want to say they'd be boring. I think that every one of them should be usable. Yes, 100%. You know what? Really, there's no argument to that. I kind of like that. That it's very difficult. It makes it kind of boring, and I think what would happen is that there would be every player would have like 10 of them, but that's what's intended. That means gold cards will be so valuable. The thing is that they won't. Certain teams won't have more expensive cards. I guess they'd be locked. Like if you pulled a penguin because of the Larry Murphy, you got more coins. Like it was a bigger pull. That's like an MLB, right? Like an MLB. I think you should have to collect. Sorry, in NHL, I think you should have to collect all of the cards, not just the low-rated ones. You should have to get the hard ones too, and then that's how you unlock a master set player for that. Like in MLB, if you collect the Dodgers, you're getting a way higher 90 overall card than you would if you collect the Detroit Tigers. So I think it's an interesting way to solve it. I just think that's too basic. Oddly enough, because NHL just doesn't do enough basic stuff, to be honest with you. So I think that Draft Chance was a good mode. The only problem was that rewards weren't good and nobody's using an 82 overall in March. If they got rid of the themes, that would be great, as you were only able to get certain players and it didn't add the suspense as much, knowing, yes, 100%. A BR mode, what they call it in MLB, 100% should be in the game. The reward should be much higher. The thing I will say, there's no chance that happens until there's cross-platform. I've mentioned this on Twitter and in prior videos. This is why NHL 23 will be the best game in NHL, because once they can go cross-console and cross-gen, they can put modes like this in the game. Right now, if they put another mode in Hut, I don't know if there's plans to. I haven't seen that. But I would be stunned because you're separating the player base even more by, adding another mode. It's just, this is the problem with the 4 separate consoles, man, and why I'm really concerned. Austin Smith, there should be more ways to earn master steps without paying, also longer milestones. So I agree with this. It's something that I've said I want to find a way. I want to be able to partake in every event, whether I spend money on the game or if I only play the game 5 to 10 hours. I don't want to just be given a card, but I want to be able to a chance to earn one. The collectible system needs to go entirely, so it would be completely different. But I agree. I think that you should be able to try and get a card every single event, man. I want to partake in it. Perelzi might be an unpopular opinion, but take auto sauces out of the game. It's mostly random, doesn't take skill. If you want to sauce it, do it manually. No reason I'm in the lane for that pass in position because if an auto sauce gets past me. So, if you guys don't know what auto sauce is, anyone that has over 80 overall passing, so 79, it will not happen, but 80, it will. If they see a player in a lane and you make a pass and it's a sauce and you didn't intend it to be one, that means that the CPU did it for you. It's an auto sauce. You'll see this a ton in the face-off play. Here's the thing. I don't mind that because it means that, hey, that player is good passing. It gives him it makes people with higher passing much more valuable because that happens, right? Here's the thing. It needs to be like 90. The top-end passers should be able to pull this off, and that's it. But I do agree, it is tough, and it's a randomness that, but nonetheless, I think it should be in the game, but at a much higher threshold. All right. All right. Massimo says for NHL 22, I would like to see more player objectives for every promo that comes out. They don't need to be master set players, but just a decent usable player. Or they can also do tournaments where a player can be one if the tournament attorney is one. So again, I've said this for a while now. I think that Rivals should be 2 seasons long, and I think that if you hit a certain level, you get a choice set from only event cards, and it's specific to that rival season. You can't earn them any other way. This would be the same kind of thing. So like objectives, I agree. I think it would be cool. There should be one card that comes out, and that it requires a specific amount of objectives. It could be like a Dan Boyle card, and you got to score 220 goals 50 goals with defensemen. Something cool like that, I think, would be really, really fun. And just another way to give you free content by playing the game, which they just do not do. I also think they should add challenges that pay out in a player once they complete all the challenges for that player. Let's say it's a Saku Koivu challenge where it requires you to do 10 challenges once they're completed to get the player. 100%. I couldn't agree more, man. They should do academy players based on FIFA where rookies start with a low overall. And once you start completing check, oh, dude, like this, I have been saying, 100%. There should be upgradable, just like what the fantasy sets were, but not based on a random jersey and gold collectibles. It should be like, hey, score 5 goals with this player, offline or online. It could be lesser online, and then it keeps going up and up and up. Yep. They should also be able to add your own arena, customize it. They should, yes, 100%, man. It sucks that they don't. I don't know. That would be great, man. All right, from Ayan, he says, the hut challenges are absolutely useless. I don't know a single person that's fun playing it because it has no rewards, and they literally had an event called NHL Moments. They could have done so much more making hut challenge. So that is in the content team. A lot of people give harp on the content team. Content team are the guys that release the cards. They come up with the events, all that kind of stuff. It's the dev team for hut that has, in my opinion, limited the ability for the content team. They have to be working together, and there just hasn't been a lot of freedom for the content team because of, they did a good job. The content team did a good job of trying new things. Okay, like for example, the fantasy master items. Okay, those were like, hey, every month you'll get gold collects, or the NHL moments where you had to complete a bunch of moments or complete a bunch of objectives based on the master sets, and you would have got a free one. But I would love specific events, man. NHL Moments would be so good. It's in all of the other Ultimate teams. I would love it, man. And, it'd make Hut way more fun. In all honesty, let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Do you guys enjoy playing offline Hut? Like, say the reward is not bad. You'd grind it out, right? But do you hate it the whole way through? So I'll use MLB as an example, or Madden. I actually don't mind playing offline Madden or an MLB, and I wonder if it's because it's harder. Superstar NHL, once you get to a certain skill level, it's not difficult at all. And I think that might be why. I don't know. Toffoli says, ESHL, go back to grinding cards like old games. And if not, grinding the cards up to like Legend. Give the amount of attribute points for everyone at ESHL so we can build we want and fit certain individual styles. Also, the plus attributes again, where you can buy and grind them like the oldest. Hut don't care. I don't play Hut, so I have no clue. All right, Toffoli. Well, I agree. The attribute system in ESHL, I would love it. Again, I think that the reason why they don't is because of the guys that the majority. So ESHL is the most played game mode in NHL. It is not Hut, and you got to be careful not to segregate the guys that can't play 5 hours a night. But I do think that it adds a lot more stuff, to be able to do that. Now, I think speed should not be. I think speed should not be touched. But maybe shot, deking, those kinds of things. Absolutely. You put speed up again, and it just gives you such an advantage that the guys that are lower are just going to have no chance. Jake Hodson says, hey, Sleeves, great vid. Appreciate the grind. I play a lot of verses and constantly get games that give me 0 points for a win. I understand you don't want people waiting for games, but it's really annoying when I play a full game, win 50-0 and get 0 points. I'd like to see either a cap on how low your opponents can be, ELO be, or just a 1-8 point no matter who the opponent. I'd rather wait 15 minutes to get a game and give you plus 4 points and not wait. All right, so here's the problem. HUD is server-based, meaning that you will ping your closest server. So it has to not only just search the entire player base, it has to search a specific server near you, and then it expands as it goes up. The issue is that it's August. You're not finding anyone. There is no one around your skill level. I bet you're probably, if you're really high in Division 1, it's going to take you forever. So, and then what ends up happening is because you're expanding so much, it can go up or down. So you're getting someone 4 divisions lower than you because no one's searching. At the beginning of the game, you won't see this at all. It doesn't really start happening until like April, May. But yeah, this is just the reality of the situation right now. And God, it might happen earlier because of the 4 separate consoles. An idea I've thought of, a way to turn untradables into tradables. Maybe this could cost coins based on value of cards. Maybe they could add a new collectible for it. Damn, I commented this while watching the video and didn't see the comment yet. Yeah, I would love them just to get rid of untradable, except like untradables work if it's specific cards that are earned by doing a specific thing. Example, like that Rivals season being 2 weeks long was my idea, 2 weeks long. And then if you place in a certain amount, it's not a percentage like what is in Rivals right now. If you hit 35,000 points in Rivals in 2 weeks, you get those cards. And it's every position, and you can only earn these cards by doing Rivals. Those should be untradable. And again, they're like a flex, so that makes sense. But I agree, they need to get rid of untradable. I hate it. Steel City Kid, hey Sleeves, what about stat penalties to players out of positions? Like if you put a player on their opposite hand wing where they don't normally play, then take a hit to their shot accuracy. This would also make it so players like Ovechkin can play left wing with a right-handed shot. Looking for something similar on how bad defense block more passes when they're playing their proper side. So I'm going to talk about the second part here first. I had a conversation with Ben Ross, the gameplay developer, in I want to say like February, and it was about cross creases and things like that. And early on in NHL, cross creases have been an issue this year, and it's when you manually play defense. I'm trying to make an example. When you manually play defense, if the pass goes through, if your stick is not directly in the lane, it is going through. It does not make a motion to like move the stick towards the puck, if that makes sense. It's like the player is one layer, okay? The stick is not a separate layer, or the skates or anything like that, which allows it to get through. Now, he said, I wonder if this is because defensemen are playing on their backhand and they're offside because everyone switches their defensemen, lefties on the right and righties on the left for one-timers. So I switched them, and a lot of pro players did as well. I noticed a lot better intercepts. It wasn't great, but it was better. So I would agree with that. I think that does play into it, man. Going into this year, especially early on, because defensemen shot totals or shot stats are just so abysmal, there's no point in going for one-timers. That being said, here's what would happen if you gave penalties to playing players out of position. All you would get are the offhanded. So I believe Kane plays right wing, but he's left-handed. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's very hard to remember like 500 players. But Ovechkin, left-handed on the or a right-hander on the left wing, for example, he plays his off wing. Those cards would be the meta, and those are the only cards that you would see. Those cards would be so expensive because they, you know what I mean? Like it's, I like your idea a lot, like when forwards weren't allowed to play defense anymore, which I think was a huge improvement to the game because it was really dumb in terms of just like actual hockey. But yeah, like I think that for sure. I don't know what you could do because you can't do that because yeah, like players love to play like that. So I don't know. I like where your head's at though. You've probably been suggested these, but let us choose jerseys for squad battles. I love that. I think that 100%. Team celebrations after a win, like in Shell. That'd be cool. Nice little touch, 100%. Ability to customize each individual skater. Sticks, skates, gloves, visor, helmets, ability to remove. That, I think, is against the NHLPA. So player likeness and all of that, that's signed off by the NHLPA. There's an agreement in place. I don't think you'd be able to mess with... let's say Austin Matthews is sponsored by Bauer. He's got to use a Bauer stick in the game. I believe. I think that's why you can't do that. I'm almost positive. Kevin Trainer says, I hope I'll look forward to the game on Christmas morning. Christmas noobs, man. We need you guys. A score clock on top of the screen. I touched on that. I have been against the score clock on the bottom for a long time now, but I doubt they change it back. I don't know. Dan of the Dead. Wow. Opening event, you pick one rookie. You have a choice from each team, first two picks, and build him up according to the performance on the ice. Starts at 70 rating. This way you can pick up cards and ability for your favorite team. His rating and ability increases according to goals, assists, blocks, interceptions, hits. He starts untradeable, and after a certain amount of games played, he unlocks his ability to be traded. So you can build up the rookie to be good enough to be your first line, keep him tradable. So what do you think? Love it, except the tradable part. Again, you have to think, guys, in a perfect world, we could do whatever we want. You have to understand the implications in the market if you made stuff like this, because what would happen is you would get guys the first week, grind it out, and then sell that card for like 2 million coins. And it just it really, really messes with the market, especially because there's so many of them. So I wouldn't recommend that. And then all you would see is the pay-to-win guys or the guys that have, millions of coins and they sit on the market for 10 hours. You would see an entire lineup of these guys. That's why they can't be tradable. I love this idea, though. 100%. There should be... Mutt has it. There is no reason why you should not be... Well, yeah, no, Mutt does it with individual performance as well. I want to see this in the game. I want to see this in the game. 100%, man. I love that idea, dude. Love it. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you for watching. And again, please leave a comment down below on what you'd like to see in NHL 22. I do relay the ones that I agree with, and I see a lot of, come up a lot to the NHL developers. So, again, thank you for that. And again, leave me what you want to see in the future on my channel for NHL 22. I have a ton of content planned, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.